Back. All right. Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. How are you?
I am good. And you?
How was your family visit?
It was nice. I had so much fun with my family. We had a good time. We traveled a lot. We did a bunch of stuff.
Nice.
Did y'all make it to Albuquerque?
We did. Oh, and that reminds me. Thank you for asking that. I have a business card somewhere. There's a person who sells starts out there. He just didn't happen to have any of the starts for that squash. Like he didn't bring any with him. But he gave me a card that is somewhere in the depths of hell. Because he drives to, that's not it. He drives to Springerville regularly. And he will come here and sell us starts or seeds.
From Albuquerque to Springerville?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me see if it's in an obvious place. It is not. Let me see if I put it in my purse. Because I was going to ask y'all about it and then see if we wanted to have him. What is that card for?
Wouldn't it be a little late to plant some of them starts?
He was just now selling the starts, so I don't think so. Maybe I put his card in here. Maybe I took it out at home. Who knows? I have it somewhere. And I will find it. I will find it as soon as I leave here. Like, it'll probably be in a bag. But I do have his information. I am going to go back in the fall so that I can pick up some of the squash and bring them so that we can cut them open and get seeds and do the whole thing. The other thing, hey, my mom's watching. I love you, Mom. I was talking about you. I said only good things. But I'm going to bring those seeds here. The other thing is, I don't know if y'all saw, but there was a post about people looking for more Concho pepper seeds. So I ordered some because Marianne Esposito listed a seed store, and I ordered 3 packs. I've put 3 seeds in a pot to see if they will sprout. And if they sprout, I'm going to bring the extra packs just to share the seeds. But I'm going to start them in my greenhouse and keep them in my greenhouse to see if I can get them to grow and collect stuff. They have not sprouted yet. I've only had them in the ground in a pot for 4 days. So I'm hoping in the next couple of days they'll sprout. And then we can restart the Concho pepper thing. And we'll see how that goes. I did have, I don't know how y'all's gardens have been doing, but I only have 1 sweet pepper plant left alive. I don't know what happened to the other one. It's in the same tote, watered the same, like everything's the same. For whatever reason, this one just gave up the ghost. I had to replace every one of my butternut squash plants. I don't know what was going on with them. I don't know if it was still just too cold at night to put my starts outside, maybe. I don't know. Everything else seemed to be doing okay, but I lost a lot of I lost sweet pepper plants, and I lost most of my squash plants. I just went and bought a couple of butternut squash from like Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever, because I felt like it's fine. I don't have enough time to start new seeds. My zucchini's doing fine though. Like, they did great and are growing. None of my okra continued. No, not even a little. So I'm going to put new okra seeds out this week because I still think I have plenty of time for that. And all of my spinach is bolted. So the chickens are just getting spinach now. And I'll replant leafy stuff because you can just keep doing that. But yeah, I've had some trouble in my outdoor garden. I think the okra problem was caused by the pack rat I killed, because they just could never, like, I would see a leaf get chewed off and then it just really couldn't recover from it happening. That pack rat was huge. That was the first time I'd ever seen one, And I caught it in a small snap trap.
In a mouse trap?
Yes.
Oh my word.
Its body, just its body, not its head or its tail, went from this finger to the bottom of my hand. And then there was a head and a tail. And the ravens wouldn't take it, so it's just out there decomposing on its own, give back to the land, circle of life. I can't do that. But I think that was my okra problem. So I'm going to replant my okra. I don't think it's too late to replant it yet. Because
Well,
we
I'm glad
kind of,
you're saying that.
huh?
I'm glad you're saying that. That might not be too late to do some replanting, because I'm thinking about planting some more corn.
Only half of my corn and beans came up, but I think it was because I've killed now, those of you watching, I keep a kill count. I've killed 16 mice and 1 pack rat. And 2 lizards got caught in traps, so I killed 2 lizards. I felt bad about that, but you know, they were stupid. I think they were digging up my corn and bean seeds when I'd put them out.
Uh-huh.
So I just keep, every week, I just keep putting more out, waiting on them to sprout. I'm setting the buffet for them. They're coming, they're partaking. It's okay, I can share that. So yeah, my peppers aren't getting any bigger outside. My peppers in the greenhouse are. But my pepper plants outside are not really, only the cucumbers and the new squash plants are really showing a lot of growth. The corn that sprouted from the first planting is about this tall. And the beans are coming up right next to them, which is great. I think that's what the plan. Never done it before. And then I have some smaller corn because I had to keep reseeding. None of my flowers have come up. Not a single flower I've planted has come up.
We've had one, except for the cosmos. Now, we've got 3 plants. One's the white bloom, 2 of them are red bloom. But yeah, I still got.
I mean, my
cosmos
special,
on the top.
my special flowers are flowering because I have some special flowers and they're doing great. Because that's my first time ever doing that and I'm proud of it. And it's legal. So those are blooming. Those are doing fine. They're also about that tall. But none of my other stuff, I get impatient because I'm used to Georgia's schedule with gardening. Everything you would already be getting produce in Georgia. Like you would be on 4th and 5th harvests by now. And I can't do that here and I have to be patient. I am deep watering. I'm not going to water every day. I deep water every 2 or 3 days. And I'm just waiting on rain that just keeps skipping me.
Oh, I thought it was only me that got skipped.
No, I live that way, and my husband said not a drop. But it rained hard here.
Yeah.
Here did well.
Uh-huh.
So, anyways, I'm glad you guys came back. I'm glad you guys gave me the grace to spend time with my family instead of having the last meeting. I've already told Carl, I'll tell you guys now, that in July, my daughter and my grandchildren are coming for a week. It is also the week of a garden club meeting. So the second meeting in July will not happen because I haven't seen my grandbabies in 3 years. And it's just going to be grandbaby time. Because one of them's 4. I haven't seen her since she was 1, and she has a voice and a personality. And I can't wait to just ruin that for her mother, because that is my job. I'm going to teach her all the things her mother doesn't want her to do.
That's what grandma's do.
That's what I do. You want more cookies at 3 o'clock in the morning? Yeah, let's go. Let's go make cookies. We'll bake them right now. That is going to be my job. All right. So today's meeting, I just looked at what to do kind of mid-season. Even though I still think we're in the beginning of our grow season, I feel like we're kind of transitioning into that it's about to be hot all the time thing. So I wanted to do research because, like I said, my plants haven't really been thriving outside. And I want to make sure that's happening. So I wanted to do some research to find out what I could do to help. And for the Facebook people, I did this on my phone. So this is probably going to be backwards for you, but when I go to put it on YouTube, I'll flip it around so it's the right way. And hopefully the sound is okay. My strawberries in the greenhouse are not doing well, so I think I'm going to move them outside. I don't think strawberries should be in a greenhouse, maybe. I don't know. Never grown strawberries before. But I did a bunch of research. What it says, you can still transplant now. And this research I did specifically for the high plains desert area, high elevation for us. I didn't want to just have generic information because it's so different here. You can still transplant out tomatoes, peppers, and eggplants. My eggplants seem to be doing fine that I started from seed. They're actually growing outside and thriving. And you can plant from seed your bush and pole beans, which I think I'm going to go ahead and succession plant some of those. My King Tut purple peas, doing great. Have tons of peas on there. Never harvested peas, don't know when to pick them. Don't know if I'm supposed to eat them like in Asian food in the pods. Like, I don't know what to do with them, but I got them. I got about 50 of them on a vine, and I don't know what to do now. So if you know what to do with peas, because I don't. Squash and zucchini can be direct sown, so maybe I'll go out and put some more seeds in. I don't know. Do any of y'all, would y'all plant seeds this late for squash and zucchini?
I'll try it.
We're having to keep planting seeds, especially our winter squash. My wife says she saw birds picking them out of the ground.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I've been having the same kind of trouble, so I'm thinking that this weekend is going to be a reseeding in any place I have an empty space. Especially because I gave a lot of space to flowers. I wanted some flowers to grow. And I've had one chamomile sprout, but it's only about this tall. I put a whole pack of chamomile seeds in there. I've got one little sprout about this tall. None of my toothache plants sprouted, and I don't know why, because those are brand new seeds. So I've got a bunch of empty space, and I don't like empty space. I don't know about y'all, but if I can see dirt, something needs to go in there. So that's probably going to be my weekend. Melons and cucumbers to direct sow. Does anybody grow melons up here? Because in my head, melons are a water-heavy plant. Like, they're water. That's what they are. And I don't know if they would grow well here or taste good here. Does anybody grow a melon?
If you've had them somewhere else, they don't taste good here, because I've tried local ones. They're not good.
They're not?
Not to me.
I tried Jenny Lynn melons last year, and I didn't get very many, but they were so good.
And it's called Jenny Lynn?
Jenny Lid. It was the only
Jenny
one I
Lid
got.
melons.
I picked it up at Walmart, and it was so good. Like I said, I only could grow like 4 of them. I'm like, that's a lot of work for just 4 melons. But they did taste good.
Okay.
So, I don't know.
I thought about trying a cantaloupe. Has anybody tried a cantaloupe?
That was what I tried
That's
with
what it was.
cantaloupe.
And you said it didn't taste good?
No, I got it from Moonrise Farm, and I thought, oh, cantaloupe local, because I'm used to central New York,
Yeah.
wet, like, Georgia kind of thing. And it was not tasty to me. It could have been the variety, I don't know, but it just.
Have you tried any cantaloupe?
Quite a few of them.
And do they taste good?
Sweet and juicy.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any planted this year?
No.
Okay.
At the time, I ran out of room. Now I've got extra room. That's why when you said, you're just going to try to do some planting.
I think I'm doing more seeds this weekend. My husband started putting hardware cloth around the bottom of my outside garden area. He seems to think that's going to make a big difference, even though there's a space about this wide on both sides of the gate going in. So they're just walking right in. But I won't discourage him from doing the task. But hopefully it might deter something from coming in and out, because I'm disappointed I don't have more things growing yet. It does say you can still seed, direct seed okra, so I'm gonna definitely do that. And sweet potato slips, it says you can transplant them now. I haven't done any potatoes this year because mine didn't turn out good last year and I didn't want to waste the space on it. But I do think I might want to try sweet potatoes next year.
I've grown potatoes off and on and done very well. Some years I have something underground that eats them.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's some kind of little rodent, but I don't know.
Send the
I've
rodents my
grown-
way, I'll kill them.
I've grown Yukon
I'll just keep
Gold,
snapping them.
the red potatoes, I've grown purple ones. They seem to grow pretty well up here if you can keep the crits off of them.
Yeah.
That's the big issue around here.
Yeah, it's all critters. There's a person, and she'll probably watch this video, so Valerie, hi. I watch a lady on YouTube. Her channel is Designer Off Grid, and she lives somewhere over here off of Stanford, I think. And she's really been fighting the critters in her garden, because that's the big thing. Are you heading out?
And now,
Thank you so much for everything. And
she'll be here soon. So
yeah, she should be here in a little bit.
Okay, thank you.
But you know, her sweet potatoes and stuff, like the critters are getting at them. I grew them in totes last year, and it was just potatoes that sat in my pantry too long. I saw them starting to sprout, so I was like, I have an empty tote. Let's go throw them in there. And I got potatoes, but they were really no bigger than this. And you know, I stuck them in a roast. I didn't waste them or anything, but to me, that wasn't worth the effort of doing it again. But I've never tried sweet potato slips, and I think I would enjoy that. I like sweet potatoes. All of this stuff is going to be, like I said, tips for high elevation gardening in June. Sun and temperature management. One of the biggest things I learned, shade cloth is the best thing you can have. I'm struggling with shade cloth that's enough for the greenhouse, because my greenhouse is now pushing over 108 every day with doors and windows open and a vent blowing. So we have I had 40% shade cloth inside. I have some 70% shade cloth, and I think I'm just going to put that across the top on the outside and then take down the stuff from the top on the inside and see if that helps. I'm worried about the temperature. I'm not really worried about sunburning anything because I have the shade cloth. The temperature makes me nervous. Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
high in there.
Think about it. You will net temperature. You know?
Dude, I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
But you also, you know, most of you have gardened up here before, so you know your plants are going to get sunburnt. And Designer Off Grid, get some shade cloth on your stuff because yours is about to die too. Watering and soil. I watch their videos every day. I ain't got nothing better to do. Watering and soiling to apply mulch. I'm going to be applying mulch this weekend when I reseed. My totes outside don't have any mulch on it yet. But I'm going to take all the straw from my chicken run and put it on top, because that's what I do. And then water your plants deeply and consistently. I like to go out there every day, and if I have seeds started, I always wet those every morning, because you want to keep the top soil wet for your seeds that are starting. But any established plants, I only water them about every 3 days. And then my blueberries, while they aren't doing horrendously well, they're not dead. I only water them once a week, because it said to water them deeply once a week. And so I'm trying to keep them alive, because I don't like the fact that people said I can't grow blueberries. And I'm going to do it, darn it. They still have leaves. They're just not overly thriving. Watering right now is going to be crucial. Now, it rained here. It did not rain down the road. Not even sure it rained across the road, but it rained here. They keep saying we're going to have a strong monsoon season. I haven't been here in 4 years and seen a real monsoon season. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. But definitely pay attention to the weather reports and make sure you're doing the watering thing. Because I think me going to Tucson is what probably did that one pepper plant in. Maybe it didn't get enough water on that side of the tote to make it hang in there for the 2 or 3 days. Because everything was the same. It's in the same tote. So I don't know why that one pepper plant died. But I'm trying to really pay attention to the watering part. When you're watering things, I found this to be very cool. If you're watering with a water hose, and they use 10 gallons as their form of measurement, I don't think I put 10 gallons of water in any one particular bed, maybe my whole outside garden. It takes about 2 minutes if you're just running a water hose on full. I know mine is gravity fed for my garden hose, so it doesn't run at a full weight. It'd probably take a little bit longer than that. If you use the bubblers that just sprinkle out stuff, it takes 10 minutes to do 10 gallons of water. And if you're using drip irrigation, it takes up to 10 hours for it to get that much water. So if you're using a drip irrigation, my suggestion would be turn it on at night and go to sleep. If you're using a bubbler, do it either first thing in the morning or last thing at night for your time period. If you're like me and you still just like to do the water hose thing because you like to be out there, I like to make sure I see the water standing on the top so I know it's going to soak through when I'm doing my deep water. And then for my beans and my corn, because it's the biggest bed and the most spread out, I usually do it first and then I come back and do another once over when I'm done. Because that one is not in a tote, it goes down into the ground, and I want to make sure that I have enough water in there. Do any of you have like a schedule that you water on or a specific type of pattern that you follow for your garden?
Like you, I like to get the hose out
And just go in the morning? Do you do it every day or do you do it?
the corn that I planted, I do it every day, and then in the evening I do it again, just to make sure it stays moist.
Okay. Is the corn coming up for you?
Yeah, it
Very
is.
cool. How
About
big are
this
your
start.
corn
I
plants?
got, they're about this big. I got a late start on them, but.
That's cool. I was telling him, you came in a little late. I've been having to succession seed them because I've been buffeting for all the rodents. They just come
Okay.
in and I see a little hole where they picked out all of them and had a day.
They haven't found my outdoor garden yet, so.
There you go.
You can buy different flow rate drip lines,
Yeah.
and my 12-inch, half-inch diameter drip lines, you can get you can get a half a gallon of water out of one in an hour at 10 psi, and in the other one you get a gallon of water in an hour at 10 psi.
Well, that's cool.
So they have both high flow rate and low
And
flow
low.
rate.
When I had drip in mine last year, I had to go out and turn the little things every single time because the minerals and the particles in the well water would get up under it. And so even if I was going to do my drip stuff, I had to go out there and literally twist each one to get it all loose again and dripping every single time. It's still worth it because I was able to go out and do chicken chores and other stuff while it was doing its thing. But you really have to be careful with the water now. Yes.
The water from my well, I find I only get 2 years at the most out of drip lines before they clog up with the minerals.
Yeah.
You can see the white minerals collects, on where it comes out.
Yeah, we're getting ready to have a softener put in, but it will only be for the house. It won't affect any of our outdoor spigots, so it's not going to help with anything in the garden. I also don't think the minerals are going to be that bad for the garden. It's just bad for the equipment. The other thing I want to remind you guys about watering, though, is to make sure that you're not watering too much. It's important that the roots be able to get air. And if they're water soaked, you will drown your plants as well. I did see online that if your plants are turning yellow from too much watering, there's something called chelated iron, and that's what the thing from Home Depot looks like, that you can add to substitute, and it will help to heal that in your plants, apparently. I've never used it. I have no experience with it. And it also said that you can add nitrogen, more nitrogen into your soil to help with that growth that was dampened by it turning yellow from too much water. Yes, ma'am.
So, I apparently am a super overwaterer. Like last year, all my tomatoes got about rot, blossom, like the whole 9 yards. So I bought one of those hydro meters now, where you stick them in and it'll say, oh, it's moist or whatever. I'm pretty sure that's what I did, because I went out there, I can go 3 days, and it still says it's moist. Like, you don't realize, because that top layer is so dry, but where all the roots are, it's still really,
It's
really
getting waterlogged.
moist. And it really opened my eyes just having that actual number there that said, no, you're fine.
So,
So,
my mini horror story.
they're like $5. I
Yeah.
can't believe
Yeah,
how
they're
cheap
not
they
that
are.
expensive. So, my mini horror story about overwatering things and too much moisture. You know how we have fly season and all the little gnats and everything come out? We started cracking our windows in our house because it was lovely out. You want to air out the house and stuff. And I had one plant that survived from Georgia here. I named her Georgia. She's like a little pothos or something like that, just your generic house plant. But she lived for 4 months without any attention in Georgia while we were setting up out here before we went back. Threw her in the truck, brought her out here. She's still alive. I keep her in a pot at my bathtub because I have this huge bathtub and it's just really cute and there's a window. Great. Husband opens the window in the bathroom, and these little gnats get in there, and I apparently overwater Georgia because there were, within a week's time, so many gnats that bred and grew out of there that it looked like a horror movie. The ground on the pot was moving. There was no dirt, it was just bugs. And so we had to take it out. I saved Georgia, put her in a different pot, and now I'm not going to water as often. Overwatering is bad. That's what I've learned. And just going in there and throwing in half a cup of water because you had a half a cup in there, that's what did it for me. I make sure I don't water things in my garden, but every 2 to 3 days, depending on how hot it is. I'm sure when we get to real hot temperatures, you're going to have to water more just because it's really hot. I don't know. The other thing I looked into was now that our plants are starting to grow, it's time to start doing things like picking off the top of your pepper plants so they bush and all of that stuff. I don't ever really do any of that stuff. I think plants grow and they just grow. But I'm trying to be better this year. So I did research. Deadheading your flowers. None of my flowers bloom. There'll be no deadheading in my garden. But if you want to keep those blooms going, like if the chamomile actually does grow and produce flowers, then I'll make sure I pick all of my flowers to dry out for tea and stuff so that I can get more flowers growing. Because the science behind that is just plants want to make babies. And if you pull off the part that gives them the seeds to make the babies, they will make more flowers to make more babies. So it absolutely helps it to keep producing and growing. Does anybody in here grow flowers and plants for teas and stuff? That's my goal this year, and none of my flowers grew. So I guess I won't be making tea. There's 2 different types of trimming for vines and trees, and that's removal cuts, and reduction cuts. If you have fruit trees and stuff or berry bushes, you probably trim off the old branches. Like I know some berry bushes, they'll only fruit on a branch for 1 season, and then you just cut that one away and it's gone and new ones come in. And that would be a removal cut. That's removing the branch or the viney area right at the thing. Now I know in tomatoes they tell you to remove the suckers that grow in between. I found last year I didn't remove suckers, and I got more tomatoes on my sucker parts than I did on the other parts. So I don't do that anymore. And I don't have any berry bushes that are growing or vines, so I don't have to do any of this stuff yet, but it's something I'm researching because I want to make sure when I get blackberries and raspberries and stuff that I know how to do it right. I know people grow grapes up here. There's lots of people that do that, and I'm assuming you have to trim all of that stuff back every year too. Reduction cuts are where you cut things to make it bushier. So like, does anybody top off their pepper plants to make their pepper plants bushy? Has anybody ever done that? Like, they swear you're supposed to do that. I've never done it either, and I had so many jalapenos last year from my just 2 jalapeno plants. I got tired of jalapenos. But they say it will help it branch out on the sides more and create more fruit. So you have your reduction cuts there, which is just shortening it, and usually you do that right above where the leaf nodes are. So where you see those little leaf nodes, you cut, and then those leaf nodes will grow out to be new branches, theoretically. I've never done it. When you're pruning your flowering shrubs and things, and I put an azalea on there because we used to have an azalea that looked like that in Georgia right outside my house. You need to make sure you know whether you're cutting old wood or new wood, because a lot of things will only bloom or flower or fruit on that wood once. So you get rid of the old wood and keep the new wood for the next time. For summer bloomers, you prune in late winter or early spring. For early bloomers, you would prune immediately after they finish blooming so that you can get more blooms. For vegetables and vines, here's where they start talking about things like suckers and stuff. It says to focus on main leader stem and prune away leaves below the first flower cluster so that it'll grow up. Now, I do that with my tomato plants and my pepper plants. I always try to keep about 2 inches from the dirt completely leaf-free so that you don't get as much fungus and stuff, which probably, I don't know, is that a big deal here? Because it's kind of dry here most of the time. Do you get a lot of like leaf fungus? I don't think I've ever seen any. I still do it. It's kind of like a habit for me to just not have leaves laying right on the dirt. So I'll usually pluck whatever's on the bottom and let it grow up. And I pluck away any leaves that look yellow or look like they're kind of not going to make it so that it can focus on the others. My cucumber plants are now about, I guess they're about 2 feet, 2.5 feet long. Like I started tucking them into the chicken wire to hold them up a little. So I guess I need to pay attention so I can prune those a little better. Does anybody prune their cucumber vines or anything?
I just started this year. I've heard both ways. If you prune them, they produce more. If you prune them, then you're going to suck up all their energy. So I'm just trying that this year. It's painful.
I know. I don't know.
It's flowering, and you're like, you could be a cucumber, but...
Yeah, my little zucchinis are only about this big around, like if you just take the whole growth of it. But they already have flowers and stuff on them, and I'm like, you know, I really should pull all these flowers off and give it a chance to like become a plant. But also, this might be the only shot I have at a zucchini. I don't know. So I'm just trying to let my plants do whatever plants do. Yeah.
You can actually plant some more zucchini now if you've got a spot for them, and you can get a longer harvest window that way.
That'd be cool, but I also am afraid that I have 2 zucchini plants out there, and I know everybody is always like leaving zucchini on neighbors' doorsteps. Like, I'm not sure, like, I don't want to assume my zucchini plants are going to do all of that because I don't have enough faith in myself, but also everybody says they have too much zucchini.
Yep.
So I don't know if I want to plant more zucchini. I'm definitely going to probably do more butternut squash or maybe some kind of pumpkins, like small pumpkins or something, you know.
I have pumpkin seeds, a lot.
Do you?
Yeah. And I I still have a pumpkin from last season.
I think I just did my last pumpkins for my chickens. Orange pumpkins are just for my chickens. Like, I don't do anything with them. I'm not going to make a pumpkin pie. I am not Caroline Ingalls. I'm not hanging them to dry from the rafters. It's not going to happen. But my chickens love them, and they stay a couple of weeks.
Do you have dogs?
I have chicken. Well, I do have a dog too, but
Dogs like pumpkins
They
too.
do.
my dog would probably love it. I haven't tried giving my dog a pumpkin.
I'm cooked down.
That'd
I
be
make
cool.
my dog food.
I'll have to try that. I cook for my dog because my dog trained me to cook for her. Not because we chose that route. But the princess has desired human meats. So she gets a share of our food.
Yeah.
Sounds like a Mother's Day.
Yeah. I tell myself she needs more protein because she's a Malamute, and if she was in Alaska, she would be eating raw fish and like hunting a moose or something, which I know is not true. But that's how I justify the fact that I cook her a whole chicken breast.
She'd probably be pulling a sweat.
She has you trained.
She absolutely has me trained. I'm looking forward to, my cucumbers seem to be doing really well. They're both those two weird varieties, the punakiri and the dragon's egg fruit cucumber. So I've never had either one of those. We'll see how they do, but it said it would do well in this environment, and they are my best growing plant right now.
You're lucky the mice haven't eaten them. I bought a pot with 4 plants in it.
I kill all mice on
Well,
contact.
it was
I
on my
literally
porch.
lay a floor of snap traps down. There's 8 of them in a row.
Well,
Just
good.
if the first one doesn't get them, the next one will.
I'm like, I go out one morning and it's just like, they're all gone.
Oh no.
I'm like, oh well, I guess I'm not having cucumbers.
The critters are the worst.
They are.
My brain never remembers which is an annual and which is a perennial and what any of it means. But this particular research said that your perennials, you should cut down to the stalks at the end of every year so that they all grow back. Now, I don't know if y'all remember, those of you who were here last year, but somebody in the dance thing left a whole bunch of, I think they were lilies. They were like little tubers and stuff. Okay, mine stayed in a garbage bag for over a year. Like, I forgot they existed. My husband opened the bag and didn't know what it was. I put them in the ground. They're sprouting. I'm assuming those are perennials.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they'll go back. So according to this, after they've bloomed and everything and they're not doing anything, is that when I cut them down or do I not cut them? Like, will it still work if I don't cut them? Because lilies existed before we did, and lilies didn't get cut.
I have a lot of calla lilies and stuff like that that come up every year, and I don't really cut them. I let them drop down to the ground, and they just kind of,
Yeah.
they just drop into the ground, and then
I noticed
they come
some.
back up.
And they'll be fine, right?
They come right back up.
I like things that don't require me to think about them at all.
Yeah, they come
I planted them out in front. My husband put up like this little fence thing to be a barrier where our well is, so people don't just back into it or whatever. And so I just kind of planted them at the base of that because I was like, there's nothing else here. I'll eventually put a blackberry bush or something there, something that vines. But yeah, those, as far as I know, those are the only perennials I own.
Do you have lavender yet?
My lavender died. I think I put it out too soon. I bought plants and put them out, and I just,
My
I
lavender
think-
comes back every
I think my little microclimate was just still getting too cold at night. I
I'm like,
really do, because a lot of my stuff just didn't make it right out the gate.
it's not too late to plant some now.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to plant this weekend. Like, I have a bunch of empty space. I'll do some
Got
stuff this
rain,
weekend.
so that follows up.
Succession planting was another part of your midsummer, mid-crop kind of thing. Is everybody trying to succession plant? Do y'all succession plant?
Some stuff. Like my wife will, this year we haven't had good luck with lettuce at all. But what my wife used to do, she'd like plant lettuce and then maybe 3-4 weeks later she'd plant more and just keep doing that all season. But this year the lettuce isn't coming up for some reason.
I had one good bout of lettuce come up in the greenhouse. My lettuce that's in the outside totes has not come up at all. My radishes outside wouldn't come up either, but I don't know if that's because mice were picking the seeds up after I put them in or because they just weren't sprouting. It's really hard to tell because I haven't killed enough mice yet to really deter that behavior. I'm thinking of hanging the carcasses up as a reminder, like some Mad Max stuff, just put some little like, set them up so they know that's going to happen. But then I caught 2 in one mouse trap, like 2 of them in one. That's when I knew I was a professional mouse trap setter. But succession planting is really important. You can do it with all of your leafy greens. I am going to restart spinach, even though my spinach the spinach I planted at the beginning of the season has bolted. I didn't think it would bolt this quick,
Oh, yeah.
so I wasn't prepared.
I would wait until later because they like colder weather. Spinach does.
Okay.
Yeah. So either plant it really early or late.
Yeah, it was one of my most prolific crops, and I still have one kale plant that will not die. And I'm just gonna keep. To me, it's too tough now. Like it's the baby leaves I can still pick and put in salad, and they're fine. But all the under leaves are too tough for me now. So my chickens just get kale like every other day because it will not die, that plant.
My lettuce, this man said that his lettuce won't grow, but my lettuce is doing okay, not really great, but it already bolted.
Yeah, I had the ones in my greenhouse bolted, so I just pick one every couple of days and give it to my chickens and let that go. But I have some butter, whatever the lettuce is with butter in the name, that. I have 4 of those that have just started coming up in the greenhouse, so they'll be my next salad when I have another salad. That's about all I've gotten out of my garden so far is salad stuff. Instead of planting entire crops at once, it suggests that you plant them in succession because especially if you're not like preserving everything as you harvest, it keeps you from being overwhelmed. And also if you are preserving, it allows you to preserve this part and then 2 weeks later you can can 40 more cans of whatever and then do on. I found this really, really cool chart that I'm going to leave up here for a minute on when you should be planting for succession planting, and you'll notice most of these are leafy things. My Swiss chard is not growing this year, and I'm very disappointed because last year it was prolific, and I found that I like Swiss chard. I'd never had it before. Now that I want it to grow, it is not growing. My radishes also, I need to be doing that a little bit better. I did plant some collards last week. I haven't seen any of them come up yet. But this is just a cool list about like every 2 or 3 weeks or every 4 to 6 weeks or whatever to succession plants so that you keep having stuff going. And I've got to start working on doing this more intentionally because my goal is to extend my growing season in the greenhouse. I need to be succession planting as I go so that in the fall I'm still got stuff coming in. It's my goal anyways. The top crops for succession sowing, like we said, leafy greens, root vegetables, maybe I'll sow more carrots. My carrots are growing. My carrots are now about 5 or 6 inches long and about as big around as my finger. Radishes and beets. None of my beets grew, and I think it's my husband's fault. He says he doesn't like beets and he doesn't want me to grow beets. I think he did something to them. I'm saying it here. Bush beans and I've never eaten a beet, so I don't know if I would like it or not. But I had 3 of them growing, and then now they're nowhere to be found.
They're really great.
I'm just saying. I pickled stuff for the first time last year, so I could have pickled beets if they were still here. Your bush beans and peas, I'm going to go through, even though my King Tut peas are doing really well, I think I'm going to go through and plant a whole new section of them so that when these dry out or whatever, I have new ones coming in maybe. I've planted so many different types of beans with the corn now, I can't keep track of what beans I've planted. I just pick another pack and throw them out there. So we'll have to see what grows in that. And then my last slide for today is the 4 steps to build a succession plan is to determine your growing season, which we are just now, maybe 7 or 8 weeks into our growing season. We still have a bit of time left. Check your seed packets and look at the dates on them. It's always helpful. I never do it because my head is way too pretty for numbers, but I should be doing it. Map the timeline out by counting backwards from your, first expected frost date. I did really good with my gardening journals for like the first month. I haven't touched them since. So I have to come up with a better plan. If there was an app on a phone, I could do it with an app on a phone, I think, because I'm on my phone all day. Replenish soil between crops. I did not do that last year, and that may be why my crops fizzled out at the end of the year last year. I didn't keep adding soil. I did fertilize, like I fed my crop, but I didn't do much after that. You okay? You
I'm
look
wet.
stiff. Oh, you're wet. Okay. You were walking stiff. I want to make sure you weren't hurt. But yeah, I need to be a little bit more conscious of what I'm doing and find a way to, like, I see you take notes all the time. Are you a good note taker? Like, do you keep doing it?
Because I can't keep it up here.
See, and I started out the season with a gardening journal, and I was writing everything in it, and then I just quit picking up the journal when I went outside. And it's hard to get back into that habit now because of that. So it's, make sure you do that kind of stuff and feed your crops. Are you guys remembering to fertilize and stuff and feed your crops on a regular basis? Mm-hmm. Do you use the crystal-y stuff, or do you, like, that you sprinkle out, or a liquid, or what is everybody using to feed their crops? What do you use?
We usually just buy this organic vegetable fertilizer.
Okay.
This year I'm on my tomatoes and peppers, I bought some, it's a liquid you mix, I think it's 1 teaspoon with a gallon of water, and then every week or 2 weeks you sprinkle it on them. That's
Okay.
what Barbara uses. It's fish and kelp.
Like a fish oil
Yeah.
thing. What do you use in your
I
garden to
use
feed?
organic stuff as well. And I have lots of cow poop on my property. That's been,
That we don't have, but we have some next door
yeah.
if we wanted it. What do you use in your garden?
Well, I'm just now starting, so I'm actually growing Backing 14 comfrey. That was what I wanted to start with, so that I could have my own way of fertilizing, and not have to haul bags. Like my idea, but just to make it.
Is the comfrey growing well?
Yeah. I should have taken a picture. It does like shade up here, because I had some in full sun, some in shade, and the ones in the shade are doing much better.
Okay.
They're really great.
I heard it was beneficial to plant comfrey around like fruit trees and stuff because
Yeah.
as the leaves die out, and
Yes.
just leave it, like
Chop
just
and dry.
keep it there,
Mhm.
and that it will automatically feed. So that's something to really look into. Bree, what do you do to feed your garden?
I have compost. I have goats and chickens and
That's
all that
nice.
stuff. And I actually go into my neighbor's yard and get their cow stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back and throw it in my compost pile.
What do you use in yours? Do you feed your?
Same thing,
Okay, and
granulated and, yeah.
yeah, I got some like Miracle Grow shaker stuff once, and it's like a ginormous thing, and so I'm just still, and I have some liquid fertilizer, feeders for plants.
I have a friend, she's come here a couple times, but they're raising rabbits. And so they brought me over a 5-gallon thing of rabbit food.
Because
So
you can
I-
just put that right on. It's a
Yeah,
cold
and
fertilizer.
So we just put a cup around our trees we planted this year. So
Yeah.
We planted 2 apple, a cherry, and a peach and stuff, so we just sprinkled it around that so far, but then most of my stuff that's growing is in my greenhouse, because my greenhouse is really big. But I call it my chaos garden because there's stuff that's coming
That's
up
all
that
of
I
them.
did not plant. Like, there's like tomatoes and they're as tall as the ceiling in my greenhouse.
I
And it's
swear
just-
there are seeds growing in my tote from last year.
Yeah,
Because
and
I
there's
know
stuff
for a
from everywhere.
fact I did not plant stuff in a specific place and there's stuff growing.
Oh, you have pumpkin?
I did not plant.
I have
I
some
did
squash
not.
I didn't plant either, and it's out in the outdoor.
I think that's
thing, and I
fabulous.
just
Bonus
start-
plants.
Watermelon. A watermelon's coming up. I'm like, okay, I just kept watering it. I'm like, okay. we'll
There
see.
you go. What do you feed your crops?
Depends on which one it is, but I use fish oil, steer manure, and, mushroom mold.
Okay. I bought mushroom compost for all of my totes. That's my preference because I don't,
That too.
the thought of using like manure compost is just, oh, you're going to touch poop. And my body rejects that thought.
It's stinkier in your greenhouse.
Like, it just, my body physically rejects that. I can't pick the bag up.
When do
So
you,
we use mushroom
fertilize
compost.
the corn?
Well, it's heavily fertilized when I plant.
Okay.
And then, well, about now, I'll go back to it and lay some more down.
Okay.
In the rows, it gets the water.
So should I wait? Should I put some in the rows now? I mean, they're like maybe,
How heavy did you,
I didn't really do anything. I put some compost in and just made the
oh, I
rows.
can go ahead and do it now. Yeah,
Okay.
maybe even do a little bit of fish oil too,
Okay.
so. Yeah,
They're
that's-
like 200 power right now, but.
Yeah, that fish oil, I put a capful for every 2 gallons, you know, I kinda thin it down a little bit
Okay.
more. And then
And then just pour
just
it
start
over top.
walking, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Sounds good.
That is the extent of the research I did for like our keeping our crops going and stuff. Now, there's been some interest in visiting people's gardens. And so what I thought would be a good idea for our July meeting at the beginning of the month is if anybody is willing to allow us to go to their garden area, to maybe pick 2 and us meet here and then carpool or follow or whatever and go see other people's gardens if you guys would like to do that. Does anybody else have an interest in that? Would y'all like that? Is anybody willing to let us come see their garden?
You can't see mine, but I'm nosy to see everybody else.
I will happily let you come to mine. It's just not that impressive to anybody yet.
I only show the pictures that look pretty. You don't get to see all
Like,
the
I take pictures with perspective. If you get down low enough, everything looks tall. You know? Is anybody willing to allow us to come to their garden that's here, though, that we could
If you
just...
don't mind looking at a mess also.
Okay, so why don't we do that for our next meeting? I'm using my phone, so I can't see what the dates are. Can anybody look and see what the first Wednesday of July is?
The first,
So it's July 1st?
yeah.
So why don't, on July 1st, why don't we meet here? We'll go ahead and meet here. And then maybe we'll go visit Carl and Sam's gardens on July 1st. Is that okay?
Yeah.
And if we have time, I mean, we can still go anywhere else. Like, we're adults. We can make choices on the fly. We don't have to be held. Now, what that means for people watching at home is I will not be recording anything on anybody's property without their explicit permission, because it's not my business to share their personal lives. But if we have the ability to do that, I'll make a video and just post it later. It won't be a live thing, just so everybody at home knows, okay? But if that's okay with y'all, then I think that's gonna be what our plan is for our next meeting.
Yeah.
And, if mine decides to actually grow, we can go look at all my mouse traps. Because that's really all my outside garden is. Every foot is another mouse trap. Thanks again for coming out. I really appreciate it. Don't forget the third Wednesday of next month, I'm going to be with my grandbabies. So I'm not going to do a garden club for that. We're just going to spend time. But I promise that's the last time, because I don't have any other family to come. All right, thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it. I am going to start shutting us down. Thanks for watching at home. Mom, I love you. Since you're the one I see here.
Yeah.